someone in one of the groups was cool enough to create a spreadsheet, and they had their ratings and the books that they were looking at. And I took that and adapted it to my uses, and now I'm giving it back to the community like it was given to the community. And so this list has a couple things that I thought the community might want if you're into this stuff. First of all, it's a bunch of series. I don't know how many different series of books. 262, assuming that you consider Cutherian Gambit LitRPG. Most of these are considered LitRPG or game lit. I'm looking for more LitRPG than game lit, but so like 272 of the most popular series, the ones that I know about, the ones that are the ones that through participating in the forums have been mentioned and have led me to authors that have other series and such things. So one, this is a decently comprehensive list of LitRPG. Second, it's a way that you can organize your particular reading list to determine what you've read, what you might want to read. And this is how I use it. So I'm just going to show you how I use it. So first, I blocked out the series and the author because I'm not a book critic. The point is not to say which are the best books in this series or even what I care about. It's just to show you how I use it. So there's the series and the author, the source, whether it's Amazon or Royal Road. For the most part, all the Royal Road ones are in gray. By the way, the ones in pink are not on Kindle Unlimited. So you've got the rating. Now, this is my rating based on like what I like. Again, I'm not a book critic. I'm not trying to prove anything. I just want to, I really like that one, or not so much, so that I can look at what I've read and what I have yet to read and plan accordingly. So if it's Royal Road or whatever, it's how many chapters, and then whether or not the series is complete. Is the series complete? So that's what this column is. And then how many books are in the series? Right, how many books are in the series? And then how many of the books have I read? And it says read 2020 because I just started reading LitRPG in April. So I'll probably add read 2020 next year. Or maybe I'll just put read, I don't know. And then how many are unread based on the number in the series and how many I've read. And all the ones with 0, I show up as blue because that way I know, hey, that one's either a complete series, which I have read all of, which ends up being 0 on this left-hand column, this A column. Like 0 means I have read the entire series and the series is complete. It's done. Put a cork in it or fork in it or whatever. And then 1 is these are series that I have started which are not yet complete. Now, it may be that I've read all of the books and they'll show up as blue. I've read all the books in that series. So again, I don't have to pay attention to that one. I'm looking at, okay, of the ones that I want to read first, my one, these are the ones that I've read. It then sorts by rating. So within the ones that I've already read, it sorts by the rating. So it lets me know, I've finished all the really, like the ones that are 9s and 8.5s, I've finished them all. I've finished a few of the 8s. Here is a series, right? This one is a series that I have started but not completed that I like. And these are the next ones I pretty much want to read. And then, then here are some series that I've started but not completed that I kind of like. And you'll notice that I've got it sorted. So of my 7.5s, the ones that I've read are at the top. So it just lets me know. And then it goes down, starting with the ones that I'm almost complete with to the ones that I have a lot to read, like The Wandering Inn. That's a long one. I'm only a couple books into that, or what I'm calling a couple books. Okay, now the next thing is then it goes down to the 2s. And you'll notice they get slightly lighter as they go down. I just have it on you can change this, but I have it. The brighter it is, the more I want to read it. The more it's going to do it. Okay, so now the 2s these are books that I have not started. I've read none of them. Like, I've got 0 reads in them, but they're the ones that I want to read most next. Those are my 2s. All right. Now, why do I want to do that? Because I'm listening to the forums, and these are the ones that people are just talking about that sound really good to me, and I want to read them. And then my 3s and a 3.5, and then my 4s and my 5s and my 6s, and that's it. And then these are ones that I haven't decided like how much I want to read them, but I know that they're available. Okay. Now, last 2 parts of this. The person I inherited with had a bunch of categories. I added a couple that fit my thing, and I haven't filled all of these out, but they're kind of filled out. And if anyone wanted to do this more, they could and contribute it back to the community. Or not. Okay. So, yeah, you just fill in what it is. And then the person had notes, and I pretty much, deleted most of the notes. Because they're not my notes. And then, okay, so now the last part is this second row has a series of filters on it. So you can hit this little button off to the side and you can sort, or you can sort by color or do whatever it is you want to do. Now, what I'm gonna suggest is that I sort the series name A to Z. And the first thing, again, you can't see it, but it sorts all the series from A to Z. And then I sort by the number of unread in the series, and I sort A to Z again. Right? That way it's going to be all the unread in the series, and then those are going to be alphabetical, because the end result is opposite of the order that you do in your filters. So whichever filter you do first is the one that's going to be sorted last. And whichever one you do last is going to be sorted first, as we'll see, okay? Then I go to the rating, and I sort Z to A. So the highest rating will go on top, right? So you notice everything's just sorted by rating. And then I go to my read order, and I sort A to Z. So what this looks like is, because I did this one last, it's going to do all of my 0s first. And then it's going to give me my rating in all of those. So within my 0s, it starts at 9 and goes down. And then it's going to tell me whether or not there's any unread. Well, because the 0s are all the ones that are complete and read, that's what they are. Okay. Now I go down to my 1s, and within my 1s, it's all the 1s, and then by rating, all the way down. And then within the rating, have I read all the books in the series? So I've read all the 9s, I've read all the 8.5s. Within the 8s, there's these 5 that I haven't read so these are series that if I complete them, if I read these books, I'm going to be happy, because I know I like the series. I already know I like it, and this is what I need to do to complete it. And then it goes to the 7.5s, and it does the same thing. Right? It sorts for the ones I've already completed, and then from 1 all the way down. So what this does is it helps me sort through the series that I have in progress, how much more I have to read, or whether or not I've caught up on the series. Now, you'll notice that a lot of these are not complete. People are still writing them. The question is just, have I read all the books that are out yet? Okay. This is just what I do so I can kind of plan out my next couple years of reading in this genre that I love so much, that has brought me back into the world of fiction. All right. As a coach, I'm a business coach. I'm a profitability coach. And so being able to quantify your development across your skill levels and kicking ass it very much fits into my psychological desires and profile. Okay, so again, I'm going to, along with this video, I'm giving a link to this spreadsheet minus all of my personal information. So all of my ratings are going to be gone. All of my, how many of them I've read are going to be gone. My reading order is going to be gone. So you can go through and just track where you are in relation to this genre. How much of it have you read? What do you want to read next? How do you think about that? How do you remember which ones you want to read? and so on and so forth. Okay. Anyway, I thought some of you might find this valuable.